Hey, this is Chantal Girardi from Online Business Marketing, and today I'm going to share with you how you can use Pinterest for marketing and lead generation. I'm going to give you step by step on how you can not only just create content on Pinterest, determine whether or not it actually is the right platform for you to be on anyway, and then look at how you can actually use it for lead generation. So it can be a very powerful platform. It's obviously very visual driven. So I always say respect the platform, respect the audience on that platform, then respect your business, your brand, your offer. And then if that works, that's how you determine whether or not that platform is the right one for you. And then by right, you should be spending 80% on your income producing platforms and 20% repurposing across to all the other platforms. And of course, always looking at analytics to make sure that what you're doing on those platforms is actually working. So Pinterest isn't just for DIY projects and recipes. It's an untapped gold mine for businesses ready to grow their audience, drive traffic, generate leads, and increase their sales. So whether or not you're into e-commerce, you're in real estate, or you offer a service, you can use Pinterest in a specific, unique way in order for you to be able to reach your ideal customers while they are in the mindset to discover, plan, and purchase. And I've got a great statistic for you to show you how. So this is going to show you how to leverage Pinterest to turn your pins into simple lead generating machines. And as I said, determine first if Pinterest is actually the right fit for your business, and whether or not you can actually get any opportunities from it. So I always like to know my numbers. I like to understand exactly the platform and where it is right now. So right now we're in October 2024. There are 465 million active users on Pinterest. 4 million of those are Australian. So obviously you need to be aware of that if you're an Australian business owner and you're wanting to leverage the platform. You know that 4 million, you've got 4 million that you can sell to. The average person is reported to use it multiple times per week. However, this statistic's really important to know, and that is 85% of the users are using it when they are planning for something, when they are discovering something, or if they're ready to make a decision about something. That's really important because you want to make sure that your content is going to be tailored towards that, because 85% of the 4 million Australian users, that is what they're using it for. So 55% of them are ready to buy when they actually go on. They actually expect to buy. And users spend 30% more time on the platform during peak planning sessions. So if they are planning something, 30%, they also have a 30% increase in the amount of time they spend on Pinterest. So for example, if I'm currently renovating a house, I'm doing something, I'm actively involved in that, my usage is going to go up by 30% in that time because I'm actually actively doing something, and that's how I'm going to use the platform. So in specific seasons, ready for specific events, anything that's trending or people are following, it does go up. So first thing you've got to do is obviously set up your profile. And I always do this when I go and I do my notes. I go and I check my stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, still had my Pinterest account set as a personal account and not as a business account. And of course, what that means is you can't actually look at your analytics, which means for the last year that I've had my Pinterest account, I can't actually look at any of my analytics because I didn't have it set up as a business account, only a personal account. So even little old me, goes and does these things, right? So the first thing you want to do is obviously create your account, and you can do that quite easily on an app on your phone. You want to optimize your business profile. So you want to include your brand name, your short bio. Of course, you need to be able to effectively communicate what you do for who and how, and your point of difference. Also, keywords that are obviously relevant to your industry. Include your website link and your logo, and then make sure, as I said, it's a business account so that you can actually you can utilize the analytics and the insights. And then you can enable rich pins to pull detailed information directly from your website. So I'm going to go into rich pins because that was something I had to look into, which was quite exciting. But rich pins literally pulls the content directly from your website, meaning that when you change the content on your website, it will change the content in the pin in Pinterest, which is like mind-blowing. So that means product details, pricing, or even your blog content, it will update, which is super awesome. So that, as soon as I do these things, I'm like, ooh, that's a really good thing that I can take away right now for myself and for my team and get them to do that. And then, of course, set up your first boards. So you want to go in and set up your first boards, remembering it is what your ideal audience is searching for, because that is where you're going to pin your content into specific boards that they'll come and search for. So definitely is determined by your keywords. Really, really important. So, for example, you may use it for your services. You might have a services board. You might have a products board. You might have a testimonials board. You might have an industry tips board. It really is around what people are going to be using. So, for example, with Daryl, with his product that he's got, Strikehold, how it might be how to remove rust from how to protect your water sports, and he might have a board on that, and then he might have all these tips. He might go find content. He might go find content around other people that have got tips on how to protect their water sporting equipment. He takes their pins, adds it to his board, and at the same time, he's obviously adding his tips with Strikehold into that board as well. So you want to be using other people's pins and sharing their pins into your content, but you want to be creating your own content as well. So what are pins and boards, and how do they drive lead generation? Because at the end of the day, you know that I'm all about content that converts. It's not just about creating content that does nothing. It's about content has to be able to turn that person into a client, into a customer. So firstly, pins are basically visual bookmarks that users save to boards. So there's content all over Pinterest. Either there's your content or there's other people's content. And pins are when you actually pin it to your board. So it's about taking it and saying, I'm going to pull it into my platform, my profile, so it's now in my stuff. And for businesses, your pins can be images, infographics, videos, or products. And each pin links back to your website or your content. And it makes it a powerful tool for driving traffic. So, for example, we're speaking about Daryl's product. If Daryl goes and he shows interest in other people's content and is sharing their pins, they're going to have a look at his to see what he's doing. And because they deal in water sports and you deal in water sports, they're now being introduced to your product now when they go to your board. So when people are searching. So really, 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 really interesting and good to know. So your boards are basically the collections. It's kind of like an album. I like to think of an album where everything is organized into topics or categories. And it's really, really important that those titles are keyword rich. So they are the words that people would be searching for, and everything is pinned and collated inside those albums, those boards. So yeah, you want it to be able to reflect the key areas in your business. And again, I don't like having like a gazillion boards because it makes it really difficult for business owners to really manage. But you just want it to effectively communicate, all your boards or your interest points of your business. So for example, if I'm a marketing business, I might have one that's tips for small business marketing. If I'm a fitness equipment business, I might have best fitness gear. And if I'm an interior decorator, or even maybe I am a real estate, what do they call it when you dress up the house for sale? I might have interior design trends. So the strategy for lead generation is basically you want to use the boards to showcase products, services, blog posts, and testimonials. And you want to optimize those descriptions with keywords so users searching for related topics can find your content. And each pin, as always, should have a call to action. So I always say this, if you've got a blog, it's got to have a call to action. If you pin something, it's got to have a call to action, because the call to action is then going to give the person the next step that you want them to take in order to be able to find you if they've liked your content. So we want them to be able to click through to your website for more information, perhaps, download a free resource or book in a consultation. So a lead generation example would be, an Australian fitness coach could create boards for healthy meal plans, at-home workouts, client success stories, and then each pin can lead back to a sign up for meal plans or book a fitness consultation or buy our exercise guide. And that's just an example of that. So understanding your call to actions is really important. All right, so using Pinterest for business marketing in Australia. again, it comes down, you've got to understand how people are searching for on Pinterest, because every platform is different and how they search is different, and you have to respect the platform and the audience and how it's used, right? So Pinterest users are search driven. So they're searching for things, and they often use the platform to discover, to find inspiration, to find products, to find solutions. So as I said earlier, it's very much about they are actually actively involved in the middle of doing something, and they're needing help with that, and they'll go to Pinterest as a guide, an easy visual guide on how to deal with that thing. And Australians specifically commonly search for trends, for solutions, and for ideas around things. So your content needs to be solution focused. It needs to be ideas driven, right? So optimizing for search, you need to use SEO strategies on Pinterest. So you need to include relevant keywords in your pinned titles, in your descriptions, in your board names. And of course, then you need to add your hashtags as well, specific to your niche. So for example, I might use small business marketing, or hashtag with a fitness business might be Australian fitness. So your hashtag strategy, you're looking at about 3 to 5 relevant hashtags per post to increase your visibility, focusing on what users would search for. So again, you could use something like answerthepublic.com, put in, 1 or 2 words, and then have a look at what people are actively searching for on those platforms. So the next thing we want to look at is your content frequency and types for Australian businesses. So, how often should you be using it? Like you just don't want it to be a waste of your time, right? So for maximum reach, you want to be posting 5 to 10 times a day. And I nearly fell over backwards when I heard that. They said consistency is important, but you can also schedule your posts in advance by using a social media scheduling tool like OBM Hub. So OBM Hub is able to integrate seamlessly with Pinterest, and you can go in and simply schedule your content to go across to Pinterest from your other platforms. It's super easy. You don't have to recreate content, but you obviously want to make sure that it's specific to the platform and what you're doing and how you're using it. So the types of content you want to use is infographics and guides, because again, think about what people are looking for. They're looking for solutions. They're looking for step-by-step guides. It's a visual platform. So therefore you want how-to guides, tips, and infographics that are related to your industry. For product pins, you want to use lifestyle images that showcase the products. So you want to showcase your products, obviously, and it can be professional photos, or it could be user-generated content of people actually using your products as well. So a blend of both would be good. And then, of course, as I said earlier, seasonal content, because the statistic was 55% of people, no, it wasn't, I think it was 85%. I want to get that right. 85% of users on Pinterest are actually in the middle of a project or in the middle of doing something and needing a solution right then and there. So they're actually ready to buy. So you want to make sure that seasonal content, so you want to plan it around your Australian holidays and events. So for example, around Australia Day, around summer fitness tips, because people are searching for that as you're going into that. So right now, for example, it's October, it's about to be Halloween. So if you created content around Halloween, that's what people are actively searching for on right now, is on Halloween content. So Pinterest, 85% of them are actively searching for that thing and ready to buy right then and there if it's relevant. So for example, with Alison, with Halloween coming up right now, I don't know if Alison has got crystal, or maybe she's got one of her essential oils or something that maybe they want to cleanse, I don't know, cleanse the house after everyone's come to the house after trick-or-treating, and you want all those energies to go. Alison's got a spray for that. So therefore she might go and put that up now, and somebody searching for Halloween are going to be introduced to this product now. Cool. So video pins. Videos get higher engagement, okay? And I actually had a statistic around that as well, which was somewhere. 3.8% more conversions from video content than any other content. So videos get higher engagement than any other thing. So use short, snappy clips showcasing your business, behind-the-scene content, and tutorials. So the videos, you want them to be between 4 seconds and 15. You can have them between 4 seconds and 15 minutes long, as we are right now in October 24. However, typically 1 to 2 minutes is absolutely fine. You want to make sure that they grab your attention straight away so that users are compelled to click on it straight away and then actually watch the entire clip. You can use videos to showcase products, offer tutorials, or provide quick tips, keeping them short and to the point to maximize engagement. All right, so understanding the demographic, who's on there. As I said, we already know like 4 million Australian users are on the platform, and there's 435 million worldwide. But in Australia, there's a strong user base with the majority of it being female. So 70% of Pinterest users are female, aged between 25 and 54. So the platform attracts users who are ready to engage, plan, and buy. And many users come from middle to high income brackets, making it ideal for you to sell products and services if you can get your visuals right. So the lead generation opportunity that you have is to use Pinterest for ideas and planning, which means offer looking for solution and service-based content. And you want to position your business as the go-to expert in your niche by offering helpful, actionable pins that are going to link to lead capture forms. So book a consultation, download my free guidelines, subscribe to this. Here's a 10% coupon code. You want to make sure, of course, is that next step in your content. So lead generation strategies continued. And that is, number one, create content that solves problems. All right. Pins that offer free resources, example, ebooks, guides, or checklists. So straight away, what did I do? I wrote it down in my notes to my VA, and it's like, I think we've got about 7 lead magnets. So I'm like, go and, once a week for the next, once a week for the next 7 weeks, offer our free resource in Pinterest, and just put those up. So, straight away, low-hanging fruit, go write that down. Number 2 is compelling call to action. So make sure that next step is always there. So download our free guide, book a free consultation, shop now, learn more. We want to make sure that your call to action words are really good. And then pin a product or a service to highlight. So if you offer services, you can create pins showcasing client testimonials or case studies. So for e-commerce, you can use rich pins that display your products with real-time pricing and availability. So again, what is rich pins? Rich pins is linked directly to your website. So for example, if Alison's selling like these earrings, and right now it's Black Friday, and on the website she has them at $100, but for Black Friday she's got them for $50. She doesn't have to go back into Pinterest and change the amount. It will automatically update when she updates the website. So that is what a rich pin is. Okay. So I quite like their idea of that, because it means if your VA or yourself is updating your website and you've created rich pins, they actually don't need to go and update Pinterest. So for me, that's a really good thing. And then, of course, collaborating with influencers. As always, you can't just sit on your platform and wait for people to come to you. You've got to go out. You've got to collaborate with other influencers. You've got to show interest in partnerships, in what in the content that your clients are looking for. It's not just about you standing there and making sure that your boards and your pins are right. It's about going out and engaging in your ideal clients' content as well, and partners' content, so that now you're actually bringing them back to you. So you definitely don't want to cut that leg off, and so many people do that in all the social media platforms. So number 7 is industry-specific Pinterest strategy. So I wanted to give you some ideas around how you can use it. So for e-commerce, you can focus on product pins with clear, high-quality images, and you can use rich pins to display up-to-date product info and link directly to your store. For service-based businesses, you can highlight client success stories, share behind-the-scene photos, or provide valuable tips in the form of blog posts or infographics. And in health and fitness, you can post workout guides, meal plans, motivational content, free resources to capture leads. And just an example for real estate agents, you can use pins to highlight listings, neighborhood guides, or home decor, and link to your website for property inquiries or for consultations. So as I said, rich pins include real-time pricing, availability, where to buy the product. Every time you update something, it's actually going to show everything, which is amazing. So what are the best days and times for you to post for Australian businesses? So this is really important, because if you're going to schedule your content, when are you going to do that? And the best days is, I think the best day is Saturday is number 1 and Friday is number 2. So they're the top days for Pinterest engagement in Australia. And the time is between 8 and 11 p.m. is the most active time for users. However, my recommendation is for you to experiment, put some content on Fridays, put some on Saturdays, change your times a little bit, because even though those are the engagement times, I'm not quite sure when the posting time is, because the posting time is not the same as the engagement time. It's good to know that. Do it and then check your analytics and then go, okay, that seems to be working better when we put it on that day. So some additional tips for success is consistency is key. So if you can't do the 8 to 10 times a day that they were recommending, at the end of the day, especially if Pinterest is not your primary platform, you don't want to be spending that amount of time on it. At the end of the day, consistency is however you are consistent and you consistently and looking at your report as well, making sure you're looking at analytics to make those changes. So consistently pinning your own content, but also engaging in other people's content as well. Okay, you need to monitor your performance. So again, is that going to be a once a week activity or once a month activity, which you're looking at which pins are performing best. So what type of content are you pinning that is actually doing well so that you can go and pin more of that content. And then adjust just your strategy accordingly. This will help you to identify what is resonating with your specific audience and what is driving traffic to your site. Repurposing content. So content that works well on your website, Instagram, or blogs can easily be adapted for Pinterest, offering a consistent brand experience across your platforms. And again, OBM Hub, you can quite easily repurpose the content to quite easily repurpose it to Pinterest. And then, of course, automating it. So you want to use scheduling tools like OBM Hub to plan and automate your posts, ensuring that you can maintain regular activity without too much manual work. So how do you get the right followers on Pinterest? And I always say this, the right followers, because we don't want the wrong followers, right? So in order to attract the right followers, we want to make sure that we are building an engaged audience. So, we're putting in those convincers, we're nurturing those people so that we can eventually convert them into leads or customers. And my number one, well, not my number one rule, but it's in my top rules. One of my number one rules is always get them off social media, always. So it's how we're going to get them off Pinterest and into your email list. That is what it always is going to be. So you're going to start by optimizing your profile with keywords that are related to your business niche, as this helps searchers find you. So again, getting those keywords right is absolutely fundamental. Being strategic with your boards. So you want to create boards that cater directly to your target market's interests and needs and pain points. It's what they're looking for. So you've got to think, if they're 4 million Australians that are busy planning a project right now, or actively searching for a solution right now, what do you have in your wheelhouse that you can present to them? Because it might not be everything. You might have sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but honestly, rock and roll might be the only thing that's going to work on this particular platform, right? So I encourage you to think, who are the users on there? What do I have that they want? Because else you're just going to be wasting your time. So be strategic about it. Consistently pin content that aligns with your brand, engage with others and pinning their content, and following other accounts in your industries and commenting on popular pins, because people then will come across and have a look at your stuff. So you want to use Pinterest group boards in your niche to expand your reach. Now this is a huge one, right? So if you think about Facebook groups, this is Pinterest group boards. All right. So what are group boards on Pinterest? They are collective boards where multiple users can contribute pins to a shared space, which is freaking amazing. So, for example, Alison is a kinesiologist. She's got her specific essential oil brand that she makes. You've got limited, jewelry and resources or whatever, but maybe, somebody that sells tarot cards. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like someone else. You can get together, form this group board or whatever. You're all sharing content, and now you're in front of each other's audiences in this group board. So really, really, this is an absolutely huge one, where you could get your partners, put them into a group board, and that would be absolutely amazing. So contributing pins to a shared space. The board creator invites other users to pin to the board. All right. So if Daryl created the board, like how to maintain your water sport equipment, and then he went and he got the life-saving Pinterest person to contribute onto that board. They contributing their life-saving tips and what they do as lifesavers and how they maintain their gear. And he's contributing on his product. Guess what? We've now got like-minded people all in the same place having a look at it. So this is insane. It's an absolutely powerful tool for increasing exposure and engagement. And group boards are particularly useful for businesses because they allow you to tap into followers other than your contributors. So you're expanding your reach beyond your own audience into other like-minded areas. So absolutely wild, absolutely wild. Okay, so how do you use group boards for your business? Well, it increases your visibility, obviously, because you're in front of their audience as well. You're doing collaborations with other influencers and partners as well, and industry experts. So it's a win-win for everyone. And it's niche targeting. So everyone who's interested in the same things is contributing towards the same stuff. And we're all now expanding the way that people can actually see you in that space. It's just amazing. All right, so when it comes to Pinterest, of course, it's the same old, like every other social media channel. You've got to make sure that you also let other people on your other social media channels know and on your email list, hey, we've got Pinterest. So on your website, put it up, announce it occasionally in your email list, in your social media list, making sure that you're saying, hey, by the way, we've also got a Pinterest channel because they may not find you. So of course, letting them find you, even asking them to share it with other people that they may know. Continue to deliver value, stay active on the platform. You'll start to naturally just draw in followers that will want to engage in your content. So if you're absolutely excited about Pinterest, I encourage you to go and set up your Pinterest account, give it a crack, and just remember it's all about the strategy. Who is the audience? What do you have that they'll buy from you? And then how can you provide helpful resources that they can easily go and access when they are ready to make a buying decision? And that's how you think about Pinterest. And then look at those analytics and have a look and go, is it working and what can I do better? So thank you so much for those of you who are watching the recording today. And for our clients, we're going to have a big discussion right now about how we can use Pinterest specifically for our business. But you do need to be a member in order to enjoy the juicy part of networking that happens before this. And the awesome Q&A that happens after this. This is Chantel Girardi from Online Business Marketing.